Remember this? That attack was used to justify bombing at least 16 countries over 2 decades and counting, directly killing nearly 1 million people while indirectly leading to the deaths of an additional 3.5 million according to a report by the Cost of War Project, engaging in regime change in the process, overthrowing several governments. Over the course of this global war on terror, they carried out thousands of airstrikes on virtually every group of military-aged males they could find, often hitting wedding parties or killing journalists, and showing as little regard for the presumption of innocence of their targets as Trump has lately in the Caribbean.
The turning point was 9/11. The tragedy is that these tactics, these strategies are being replicated by other regimes.
The initial U.S. response to 9/11 was to go after the Taliban government.
The United States military has begun strikes against al-Qaeda terrorist training camps and military installations of the Taliban regime in Afghanistan,
who were at least somewhat involved in harboring Osama bin Laden in the years leading up to 9/11. But then the Bush administration spent months building a narrative on the foundation of either fabricated or non-existent evidence, claiming that Iraq was a state sponsor of terror.
Saddam was a supporter of terrorism long before these terrorist networks had a name.
And that Iraqi leader Saddam Hussein was building weapons of mass destruction and implying that he was somehow maybe involved in 9/11 or something. Now, it just so happens that the US had already been planning to invade Iraq long before 9/11. George W. Bush became president in January 2001, 8 months before 9/11. His first 2 National Security Council meetings discussed the possible invasion of Iraq. He was given briefing materials called Plan for a Post-Saddam Iraq. Why, might you ask? Well, the answer is in a Pentagon document from March 5th, 2001 called Foreign Suitors for Iraqi Oil Field Contracts. And it's not a coincidence that Bush's vice president, Dick Cheney, who was running most of the US's foreign policy behind the scenes, was an oil executive. And Halliburton, the company he was the CEO of, profited massively from the invasion of Iraq.
Don't get mixed up with drugs, gangs, or oil executives.
Iraq doesn't have the world's biggest oil reserves. They're close. They're number 4, right behind Iran at number 3 and Saudi Arabia at number 2. But you might be surprised to learn that the country with the largest oil reserves in the world isn't even in the Middle East. It's Venezuela.
We will drill, baby, drill.